Guys, welcome back to another episode of Pretty Psycho Podcast. I'm your host, Nav. Next to me, I have my co-host,
Tracy, and in front of us, we've got our guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello. My name is Rico. I do many things, but for those who don't know, I'm a boxer, and I do a lot of stuff in the Asian community around mental health. So yeah, men's mental health, to be specific. So, yeah, that's a little
what
bit
about all
about
the
me.
women?
The women as well.
Yeah,
Empower
what
the
about
women.
us?
Yeah,
You forgetting
100%.
us?
No, never forgetting the women.
I've been struggling with my mental
It's
health.
been like 30 seconds and we've already put him on the spot. Okay, guys, so we've got some questions for our guest over here. We're just going to get straight into it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to give you a very easy one yet to begin with.
Go on.
Simple. You should know this. You work around mental health. What is mental health to you?
Mental health to me is the understanding of how everybody's individual mind works. You know, everybody's different. Us three, we're all in the same room here, but we're all different to each other. It's understanding your own mental health. Now, there's 1,000,001 different ways about how we can go about it. I couldn't ever really say there's a definitive answer to what that is, but I think, for me personally, I think mental health is the understanding of who I am, but also who I'm not, and having that everyday desire and that everyday hunger to at least be me to the best of my abilities. You know, we're in a day and age now where we have so many expectations about who we're gonna be, who we're not gonna be, you know, outside external factors, you know, judging what our mental health should be, when in reality it should really just be what we see within ourselves, if that makes sense.
That
That's quite
does make
long-winded,
sense.
that one.
That does. Yeah.
It
No,
makes
it
sense.
makes sense.
Okay.
It was,
does
it
make
was to
sense.
you personally anyways, what
To
you
be
think
fair,
it
it's
is.
a very good answer.
No, but the biggest thing for me is that when a question like that is posed to me, I don't want to ever give an answer because I don't want to ever define it for somebody. Because then for somebody,
Yeah.
they could be like, hang on, that's not what mental health means to me. And I don't want to ever confuse anyone.
Hence why I said to you personally, because I
Yeah.
feel like everyone's answer to that would be a bit different. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I put it in Google right now,
It would come
we'd
up with
get a
different-
completely
Yeah.
different answer.
Like, I'm sure you two have different answers to it.
Yeah.
If someone asked me what mental health was, I'd just say your own mental stability. It's like physical health.
It's the
your
way, I
mental
think it's
health.
the way your emotions work. It's the way you act. It's the way your brain works. Like, it's so many different things. Like, so many different forms of mental health, I think.
Yeah, there's not one way mental health can be. You know,
Nah, it can't.
For some they see it as like a physical.
It's not black and
connection
white.
to the body. Yeah, for some it's like they break it apart from the physical and they use it as just the mental and the spiritual. You know, so there is no definitive answer to it. But for me personally, I think it's like I said, just to understand who I am and who I'm not. You know, and I think that's really big, especially in the day and age now. We're in 2024 where we're in this social media era where everything is amplified. You know, if you're not
You have
20
expectations to be a certain type of
you know,
way.
there's
Yeah.
so many expectations to be somebody, but there's very little expectation just to be yourself. And I think that,
Social media is fake as well, let's be honest.
yeah,
Like, not everything portrayed on social media isn't, it's
No.
not reality.
No,
but I
no,
think
no.
people fail to really
and I feel like
understand
sometimes
that.
we
Yeah.
get quite sucked into it, and that's where like
So, sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm from the Midlands, by the way, so
Just expect this throughout the podcast.
so for like I was saying, like the expectations are crazy in our day and age. So for understanding who I am is really important to not get mixed in and with what people expect me to be. You know,
Yeah.
if that
We
makes
love that, man. Strong king over here, guys.
Appreciate it.
Right. Okay. Next question. When you're feeling down or upset, do you feel like you can talk about it as a man? Do you like isolate yourself, push it down? Or do you feel like you've evolved in the way you've handled it from like when you were younger compared to like now?
So when I was younger, I felt like younger. I was quite Midlandsy.
Oh, he did it
wasn't
himself.
Yeah.
Younger.
He did it.
I felt like the people I was around, like so the people I looked up to, whether that be my uncle, my own father. I'm Asian, I'm Indian, so for us, in our community, I'd say it's quite like you don't really speak about it that much. You know, you're not meant to really talk about your own mental. You're not meant to cry. Like, what are you talking about crying? Like, you should be getting on with it. You know, like grit your teeth and get on with it kind of mindset. And for me, I kind of always had like this mental paradox when it came to that because I didn't agree with that. Even as little as I can remember, I didn't agree with that. I was like, why can't I cry, but my sister's allowed to cry when she's upset? You know, and that really used to affect me as a child because I used to think, and it was no fault of my parents, it was no fault of anyone. it was just what I saw and what my parents saw. So that's all they knew, and that's all I knew. But for some reason, I couldn't agree with that because a lot growing up, I grew up very confused about everything and always questioning everything. I didn't really want to like almost take anything off face value. So when I was younger, I had a really hard time talking about it because I knew I'd get an answer that would just be like, oh, just get on with it. Like, you're a kid, you're 13, you're 12, 11, 10, whatever. And then it got to a point where, life happens and some life situations happen, which I'm not going to talk about here. And it made me kind of like think like, I have to talk about what's going on in my brain. Whether that's to somebody or to at least myself. Like, I owe it to myself to talk to myself, And when I'm feeling upset, when I'm feeling down, like I have they've got my phone, but on my phone I have a journal, which is locked. Like, no one can get into it without my password. And in that, I write every day to myself. Even if I've had a bad day, even if I've had a good day, like, it doesn't matter. I'll write to myself just so I know that I'm keeping myself in check. I always kind of grew up trying to look for somebody to talk to, but realizing that no one's going to give me the answer that I'm looking for. And the only way and the only place I can ever find that is within myself. Yeah. I only know me best. You two only know each other the best. You lot could be the best as a friends, known each other from the minute you were born, but yet you only know you. She only know, and you only
You
know
only
you
show
best.
people what you want them to see
Exactly.
anyways. It
So-
could be your closest people.
That's
So if you're
true.
only shown a glimpse of who you are to be, people are only going to give you an answer based on that glimpse. So being able to talk to yourself is the best type of, I believe, is the best type of therapy. Now, there's always that question, how do I talk to myself? Now, this goes back to what is mental health. There is no definitive answer. There is no definitive way to talk to yourself, right? For me, I find journaling really easy. It feels like I'm having an active conversation with myself. But for others, it could be, there's a thing called mirror gazing that's quite big in like America at the moment, where you stand in the mirror and you actually talk to yourself. And probably sounds crazy to like a lot of people who are going to be watching this, but it's a real thing and it has benefits to it. Like standing in front of the mirror and talking to yourself, it actually looks like a conversation. You probably look weird if somebody walked past, but in that moment, it could be very helpful. Now, for me, it doesn't really work for me, but that doesn't mean it can't not work for somebody else, So for me personally, like you said, what helps me when I'm upset is talking to myself, but through the journaling, And it's not always just journaling bad stuff, like, or something that's not gone my way. No, even journal like good stuff. Like, there's like this stigma around mental health where it just always has to be negative. No, there's positive mental health. Like, imagine being like in a positive state of mind. That's still mental health. You're in a positive state, positive mental state. Why is that not a healthy mental health? Like, we walk down the street and we'll see somebody who's in shape, right? And you'll be like, oh, he's in a healthy physical state. It's the same way your mind can be in a healthy mental state. It's still mental health. You're still keeping in check with your mental health. It's that same kind of thing, if that makes sense. I feel like
I
I'm
think
waffling
people
to-
see that as normal though. Like,
Yeah.
I think when someone's in like a good mental state or whatever, it's seen as normal. That's why it's not celebrated. But when someone's in a bad mental state, obviously they look down on it. I think that's why that's the case.
I think you should, not other people, I think you should give yourself your own flowers sometimes.
100%,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And even when you're in a good space, congratulate yourself, be proud of yourself, because you know for a fact that like if one day you're not feeling yourself, you have that inner notice that, look, I've had a day where I feel like this, but then I've had a million other days where I feel amazing, and it kind of allows you to pass through that day where you're not feeling yourself a lot smoother because you know for a fact that this is just a day. There is no such thing as almost bad mental health or one bad day. No, it's just a bad day, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Yeah,
I'm
it does.
waffling? Am I waffling?
No,
am
you're
I making
not.
sense?
You're
You're
good,
saying-
man. You're
It's like
talking
when
sense.
you were talking about the whole mirror thing. Like, I've read in certain things like daily affirmations. Like, when you wake up first thing in the
Yeah.
morning, look yourself in the mirror and say like 5 good things about yourself.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of like men, women, children, adults, whatever, it's healthy to talk good on yourself because and I've said this to you before, your body listens to what you tell it. If you tell your body, I'm ill, I'm feeling shit, I'm this, that, you're gonna act like that. If you tell your body, your body listens, and if you're talking good to yourself,
Yeah.
your
Even when
brain
you
will
talk bad
listen.
on yourself, like, you know, when you do something and you're like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, your body genuinely listens.
It
Like,
does.
it does. It's
100%.
actually very true.
I think a good example I can give, like, for like boxing, for example, like if you go into like let's say you're going into a bout, you got like a fight coming up, and if you're constantly telling yourself, oh, I don't know if I got it in me, he's better than me, he's this and that, like that is, you're literally setting yourself up for failure before you even stepping in the ring. But having that positive affirmation about, I'm gonna do what I need to do, it's that same kind of mentality when it comes to yourself in your everyday life. If you wake up every day with the intention to maybe not build a brick wall every day, but at least just lay a brick, just small steps until however you want to go.
You should take it day by day, anyways.
Yeah, I don't,
You never know
no,
what
no,
life's gonna bring.
I don't really plan ahead. Like, I don't know. I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't even have a 1-year plan. I think I have a day by day plan. Okay, if God allows me to wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do this, this, and this. If God doesn't allow me to wake up, then guess what? I've lived a good life. Kind of mindset. I don't really plan too far ahead because I can't see what the future holds for me. Right? Yeah.
That's fair. Good answers. He's coming with.
I told
he's
you.
spitting. He's going.
You guys, he was nervous, but
He
you
was
see, I told
nervous,
him
but
he
was
you
was
wouldn't
very
gonna
be
talk
able to
facts.
tell.
I'm still nervous now. You know.
I can see his leg is shaking like yours shakes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mine shakes so much. You know, this
Yeah.
girl will be like, she can never hold it down.
I've
But
started
that's
doing
why
it
I'm
like
saying
that.
like
Yeah.
this, because when I'm like this, I won't shake my leg.
Me, like, this is when my leg's shaking. That's when you know, like, I'm nervous. Like,
You know, I do it without even being nervous. Mine just
Really?
No, she does it for fun. She'll be driving and her
No,
leg will
it's
just go up and down.
it's become a habit now, I think. But
It's
I do
a
it
part of your
more when
everyday
I've got
routine now.
anxiety, maybe.
mm.
Okay. What do you think the signs are when a man is struggling with his mental health? Like, do you think... Okay, answer that one first and I'll ask you the next one.
That is a really, really tough question to answer.
Because everyone's is going to be different.
Yeah.
But what are the main signs that could contribute, like, that will be in everyone?
I don't know if I have a definitive answer to that question because I know men who, unfortunately, commit suicide, but they'll be the happiest men on earth.
Yeah, that's true.
There'll be men that you could not tell that they were upset. But maybe that is the sign. Never being upset, never being to always being happy. Like maybe that is the sign.
To be fair, they do say some of the happiest people are some of the saddest
Yeah.
people. So that's and I think that goes for men and women, but I think
Yeah.
that is more prevalent with like men because I think in this society men don't really get the platform to talk about how they're feeling. And I think if a man, like, I know a lot of my friends, a lot of girls that I know will sort of be like, if a guy cries in front of me, it's cringy, which
Yeah.
is fair.
It's true.
Like, that's
I
what
don't
you've
think
grown
that's
up.
fair,
It's
though.
not fair as in, like, yeah, I
Everyone
agree
has
with it.
feelings, man.
But fair as in, like, you've grown up, like, even as women, we've grown up thinking, like, in my culture, I'm Arab, we've grown up, even as women, like, your husband shouldn't cry, your man shouldn't cry. It's like, or
But I
as
think
men,
that's
you
back
shouldn't
in
cry.
the day as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's back in the day. Like, I wouldn't say my family's like that. I wouldn't say I'm like that. I think it's very important for me because I think I've seen people break down in front of me because of their mental health as men because they don't feel like they can talk to me. And for me, it's like, why do I did it again. I always knock the mic. I'll be saying something important, I knock the mic, but. No, I think it's important for men to talk about it, and I think men don't get the platform to talk about it at all. They don't have the they don't have the ears to talk about it. Like it's like when they talk, it's sort of like if a man says I'm pissed off today or I'm upset today, and it's not like a normal pissed off or it's not a normal upset. Everyone will be like, "Oh, it's alright. Tomorrow will be a better day. It'll be a better
It's
day."
brushed
You know what I
off,
mean?
it's
It's brushed
brushed
under
off.
the. Whereas if
But
a
some
girl's
don't want to
crying,
talk about it either, though. I think a lot of guys I know, they don't like speaking
don't
about
like it.
if they're feeling upset or forget angry and stuff, they'll talk about to some extent. If they're feeling upset or they want to cry, they won't talk about it because I feel like it's partly because of how men are supposed to be in this society, and for some of them it is an ego thing. I'd like to say, let's take my brother for example. I would like to say he's one guy that will actually talk to me when he's upset. You know how Pav is like. He will talk to me when he's upset. However, I don't think he talks to me about everything either.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's some things that he keeps deep hidden within inside him. And I guess it's okay, but I think everyone should talk. Like, I think it's healthy to be able to show your emotions and talk.
I think going back to that comment that you made about like, oh, it's like cringy if a guy cries. Like, I remember seeing this TikTok like years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, and in that TikTok the girl goes like, if a man cries, is he really a man though? Like, and it's that mindset. Like, and I don't blame women for having that mindset, nor do I blame men for having that mindset. But I just feel like that's a really sad like world to be in. That like, are you really a man if you can't cry? Like, and to your point where you say like not many men want to talk about it, maybe they don't know how to talk about it. I feel like women are way more exposed to different ways and different strategies of talking about stuff, right? Whereas I don't think men are necessarily equipped with that same type of knowledge. And I think living in a society like that, I think to some extent is pretty unfair, but like it's not on anyone's fault, you know? I think as men and as women, you should take some type of forefront and initiative to learn how to talk, you know? Which probably sounds a bit silly, how do you not know how to talk? But then, like, how do you start a conversation about, okay, I'm going through this.
Exactly.
And I don't have the answer to why I'm going
stems
through it.
from things as well.
Yeah.
Like, it could be childhood trauma. Like, the things that you're going through right now could stem from your childhood trauma. How do you randomly one day just, like, bring that up? Like, me and her are shit at talking too.
We just drink and talk.
But we'll have, like, we've spoken about this in our last podcast. Like, the only time we will have a proper conversation is if we drink and talk about it.
Yeah.
It's actually so sad. But I don't know how to talk. She don't know how to talk. Like, I don't like talking.
Would you lot ever want to learn how to like talk?
I mean, I think I even told you about. I've got like I don't know if you know it, but it's like there's a book and it's like it's a burn book. It's like you basically write in it like I don't know, we'll ask you prompting questions like how do you feel today, or like what is the most traumatizing event in your life or whatever, and you write in it, and then once you're finished with the book you burn it. And like I only found that, like I had it 2 years ago, 2022, that's when I first got it, and then I only just found it literally like 2 days, I think I told you, like a couple of days ago, and I just started writing in it, and it's like it's I wouldn't say that's talking, but I guess that's what it's talking to yourself. It's like you're sort of just, which I think is healthy. I think learning how to talk at this age that we're at, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is very difficult.
You can't. I think you can do it, but I think you really
need
like,
to put in the work.
You must really want to do it. I can't talk to people like, even though Tracy is my best friend, yeah, like she knows me like the back of her hand, yeah, like I know her. However, even with you, like I just don't like talking. But I know, like I know myself. You know how you have a journal, yeah. I don't stand in the mirror and talk to myself, yeah. But I will sit on my bed and I will think to myself, and whatever I'm going through, like I will talk like to myself about it. But I just don't feel comfortable talking to someone else about it. And I think that's partly because talking to someone about how you're feeling makes you vulnerable, and that's one thing I hate. I think
why does it make you vulnerable?
It does make you vulnerable because okay, say I'm going through something here and I'm literally pouring everything out to you. You know everything now. That is you being vulnerable. Like that is genuinely being vulnerable. And I think
know more about her than she'd want you to.
I think I hate that. I think that's one thing I hate, and that's why I don't like talking. But I think I know that about myself. Like,
couldn't it be a place from, like you see it as like a place of vulnerability? Some people may see it as a place of empowerment.
Yeah, it's true. Everyone will see it different. That's a fact.
I see it as a place of empowerment. Like you're able to let an external source, whether that be a person or whatever the case may be, know that, hey, this is me today, and I feel like this, and this, and this, and this is happening in my childhood, this happened and that happened, and it's an empowering state to be in, because probably about 90% of the world can't even do that. So whereas you may see it as a place of vulnerability, I would rather see it as a place of empowerment, you know? But whatever they do with that information...
I think it's perspective though, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, like people say, oh, but then they could use it against me. How could they use it against you? You already know the stuff that you've gone through because you're the one that's telling them. It's not.
True.
No, I don't ever think
No.
like if I talk to someone they'll use it against me. I don't think
Yeah, but-
like that. But some people might.
Yeah, yeah.
though.
Some people.
I think it's all
literally.
about perspective. Like
Yeah.
even in life, say you're having a bad day, if your perspective is on it, like, oh shit, I'm having a shit day, I'm having a shit day, you could change your perspective and have a good day. But it's easier said than done. It's not like I can't just say it and be like, boom, I'm gonna do it. I think these things you need to constantly think about and make a conscious effort to actually do these things.
I think it's that like cliche quote that I read all the time on Instagram. It's like one day or day one. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is it one day you're gonna start doing it? Or is it today's the day I'm
Day
gonna
one
start?
of doing it, yeah. It's true.
You know, and
It's
I feel
true.
as cliche as that is, and I see it everywhere. I think that there is some truth to that statement. Like, okay, you wanna better your mental health. Okay, you're gonna start today or tomorrow. Are you guaranteed tomorrow? Are any of us guaranteed tomorrow? No.
No, because when you say like, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, no, I'm gonna do it now tomorrow, now I'm gonna do it now
Yeah.
tomorrow. That's what happens though with anything, whether it's mental health, whether it's gym, whether it's eating clean.
And
You
I
say
feel-
you're gonna do it tomorrow and you never end up doing it.
Exactly, and I feel like none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So having like today is a blessing in itself. And
Yeah.
doing something actively today to achieve, even if it's the smallest win in your life today, I think you should go for it, strive for it, because tomorrow is not promising. Tomorrow you may not wake up,
It's true.
and I feel like if you want to learn more about yourself, I feel like you have to start today. Like, start now. Go, like, cry, scream, punch a wall, do whatever. Like, release something. Like, make yourself feel something, but from the sake of you, not from the sake of something else or like an external source. No, make yourself feel something. Figure out what is it that's trapped you inside, you know? Because that's what I had to do. I had to figure out what was wrong with me, you know? And not to say, like, I figured it out 100%, because that's not true. I'm only 23. But I'm more equipped and I've read more chapters about myself than I probably did before, if that makes sense.
As long as I think you're better than the person you were yesterday and you know like more about yourself than yesterday, because you know people say they know themselves 100% and they're our age. I don't know, for me personally, I don't feel
You
like
can't.
anyone really knows themselves like 100% out our age, because we're at our prime. Like we're changing so much. We're just at that prime age where so much is changing. I feel like if you know yourself better than yesterday, you're doing a good job.
I mean, your brain doesn't even really fully develop until you're about 23, 24. So
Yeah.
even with that, how can you fully know yourself when your brain is not fully formed? Like, it's not, and I'm not saying like brain forming is you knowing yourself because your brain is like whatever, but your brain is not processing emotions the way it will, because you think about it, like we don't actually get a break from the moment we turn 13. Like we hit puberty. After puberty, we hit like making crazy life decisions about where we want to go, like for the rest of our lives. Like, you know, you make a decision about what you want to do for the rest of your life from the age of like
It's non-stop.
16, 8. You don't stop. There's no rest, especially in this. I think back then the world was so much simpler because there wasn't all of this like technology. You're not seeing all of this stuff online. You're not feeling like body dysmorphia because you're seeing skinny girls and built up men and all of this. It's like, and I think now as we grow up, it really just punches you in the face from the age of 13 or like even 11 for some
It does.
people. Like you just get punched and then you don't
You
stop
don't
getting
think
punched
we're
until
gonna
you're
be
like
here
20.
so soon. Like I swear, yesterday we were like 12, and we're now 20.
This is what I'm saying. Like
It happens.
time
fast.
goes, and you know, you see like Snapchat memories come up from 5 years ago, 6 years, and I'm just looking, I'm like, that time went by so quickly. I can't even, like, we've like known each other for more than a year now, year and a half. That's insane. And you wouldn't think that based on our friendship, but you know, it goes by like
It does.
zoom. You know, it's weird. I don't know.
I read a book. I'm a big reader. I advocate and I promote reading. I think reading is really powerful. I think a search of knowledge every day, I think, is really important. And I read a book, and it was by a guy called Miyamoto Musashi, and he was like a swordsman, like 600, 700 years ago. And he said that there's these 21 principles of life, you know. And if I had my phone, I would have read them out to you lot. But in those principles, it kind of sums up the fact that no one should basically, the song of it should be, no one should ever make you feel bad for being you, and no one can be you better than you. So when we're looking at like other people, they're the best version of themselves today, or they are on the track to be that just as much as you are. So like when we're developing from like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, it's like we're all on that journey to be like a better version of ourselves, right? And no one can be you better than you, right? There's no one that could be a better version of me than me, because I'm only me. There's only one of me, right? Just like for you two as well. And I think understanding little things like that is really, really important, because then we get rid of that constant comparison that, oh, like they're 19 and there's some 19-year-olds that are millionaires. I'm 23 and I'm far from a millionaire. Sure, I've got a little bit of change in my pocket, but I'm not no millionaire. And getting rid of that comparison is really important, because I think, like we said, in this day and age, it is all just about, we're all like, in a weird way, competing with each other.
I know.
And I think that's really weird to me. Like, why?
It's down to social media too, though. But we all have a different route in life. Like, not
Yeah.
whatever you want to do in life doesn't mean I want to do that in life.
Exactly.
Whatever I want to do doesn't mean Tracy wants to do it. So we're not gonna all have the same end goal. We're not gonna all take the same route. Like mine might go up, down, then I might go rocket sky high. Yours might go down, then go up. Like
Yeah.
I don't think we should only compete with the person we are yesterday, and that's a big
Yeah.
fact. Like I don't care what anyone else is doing. It's you're not me. Like that's how people should see it, though.
Yeah. 110%.
They hate us because they ain't us. There we go.
Period.
That's on my book.
Hear it.
What's the next question?
Okay, so okay, I think we've already established that there's a sort of that idea that men's mental health is overlooked, and I think that was going to be the next question. Do you think it's overlooked? But just leading on from that, so I'm conscious of the time. Do you think, what can we as women do to help raise awareness around men's mental health, or even just people, like not necessarily women, but let's say men who are in touch with their mental health, and what can we as people do to sort of raise awareness around that?
I think there's two things everyone could do. Doesn't matter if you're man, woman, transgender, whatever. Like, one is, be proud of who you are first. Lead by example. That is a foregone fact of life. If you lead by example, people will follow. So figure you out first. Be selfish. Figure you out. Like, do what you need to do first before you help somebody. And then secondly, understand that what you may say, what you may feel, and what you may believe is not what somebody else thinks, and it's okay. And empower and embrace other people's opinions of life, and embrace and empower that some people may have a different view of their trauma, and that's okay. And standing next to them through that. You may not agree with them. You may not even have the same opinion on the same thing that could have happened to you. But being able to stand by them, not stand in front of them, not stand over them, not become the reason that they improve. No, let them figure it out for themselves, because it will last longer, the improvements. But stand next to them. Let them fall. Pick them up. When they're ready to move forward, walk with them. If they need to stand still for a little bit, let them stand still. If you know that your time helping them is done, allow them to move, and you stand. And then somebody else will come along. But the biggest thing everyone should do first is focus on you, focus on yourself. We're in a society now where you need to be a little bit selfish. And probably as weird as that may sound, I've done seminars and I've done like charity work about mental health, but I had to be selfish at one point in my life to then be able to do stuff like that, So even women, I think there's a quote I read, quite an old quote. It was it said, "Men lead the way, however, women shine the light in which men walk towards." So as women are so much more powerful and so knowledgeable that, any man lucky enough to be around that type of energy should be able to learn from. However, an empowered woman, a proud woman, and a woman with her head held high is the most important thing. However, a woman needs to be selfish for us to do that. And I've seen it. I was raised by two beautiful women, my mom and my sister, and they and my sister's younger than me, by the way, but she's so smart and she's so understanding of who she is. But them both being acknowledging of the fact that there's going to be days they need to be selfish. And I think that's so empowering. And learning that from a woman, being selfish sometimes. Because sometimes men, we're always kind of, you know, looking after this person, looking after that person, sorting this person, sorting that person out. Learning and being okay and being empowered to be able to say, do you know what? I need to be selfish today. I think that's really powerful. I think it's really powerful. And it comes from a place of understanding. Like I said, I think it's the first thing I said was understanding who you are and who you're not. And it comes for that. If that makes sense. Am I making sense? Am I making sense?
You are making
you are.
sense.
I said you are.
We're
you are.
nodding. We're listening.
Okay. What advice would you give to any men that are struggling with their mental health?
You can look at the camera and I'll look directly at them.
Look at our viewers and give them some advice.
Kind of what I said on the last point is.
You don't actually have to do that.
Oh.
You could have, to be fair.
You could have, yeah.
I think there's three things that every man should do, and woman. Even if you're a woman that's going through it at the moment, is one, be proud that you are you, and it may seem a foregone, long way away kind of thing, but be proud of who you are today. Number two, the beauty of trial and tribulations, trial and error. If you're going through something right now and you've tried 100 things and it's not worked, well, guess what? Try the 101 thing, the 102nd, 103rd. And don't restrict yourself to, I tried this, this, and this, and it didn't work, and I still am where I need to be. That's okay. You will find something that's going to work for you. For me, like I said, it's journaling. You know, for other people, it's like staring in the mirror. For some, like, for example, for you, it's thinking, sitting there and thinking. Find out what clicks with you. And thirdly, don't put yourself in a box. Don't put yourself in any type of, you know, stereotype. Doesn't matter which community, which culture, which background you're from, you know. Embrace the fact that you're you first. And allow yourself to not be okay today, with the hopes that tomorrow may be a better day. And even if it's not, have the same mindset that tomorrow I have another day, to at least have a better day than I did today. And I think that's so, so important. Trial and error is the biggest thing. Keep trying things, you know, have that constant seek of knowledge. I can't sit here and tell you that you're going to be okay. I can't sit here and lie to you and tell you that I'm going to be the shoulder to cry, because no, that's not true. I wouldn't lie. But I think embracing who you are and trying 1,000,001 different things for something to stick is so important when it comes to figuring out your mental health. Because remember, at the end of the day, all of our mental health is individual, right? Just like in the gym, like some workouts may work for some it may not work for others. It's that same type of principle. So, in essence, those are like the best advice I can give you. I can't sit here and tell you that it's going to be sunshines and rainbows if you cry today, because that's not true. You may want to cry tomorrow and the day after. But if I can give a little bit, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. However, you have to walk towards it. I can't walk for you. Your family can't. Your friends, no one. Only you can walk. People will walk with you, but at your pace. So you have to take the lead. I think that's the best advice I can give. I don't know if that was good advice.
That's
That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's good advice. Very hot. Got two
Was.
tears in my eyes. I'm joking, but okay. Well, thank you for that. What we're gonna do now, because it's important. I think you said, you know, well, one of us mentioned, you know, you run a foundation with your sister and your mum. You also do some boxing as well. So we're gonna leave the floor to you. You know, you take it where you want to take it. Tell us a bit more about
yourself, basically.
Yeah, tell us
About
about
me.
yourself, your boxing foundation, etc.
Everything you do. Like, this is your time now.
We've got a couple minutes. You know, leave us time to end.
I think if I'm going to talk about one main thing, I think I will talk about like the organisation me, my mum, and my sister run, and it's about I'm Indian at the end of the day, and it's about raising awareness about men's mental health in the community. We noticed that a lot of men in our community were dying due to alcoholism and a lot of drug abuse because of the fact that they didn't have no escape. And I've spoke to a lot of older men, and they say the reason why I drink so heavy, the reason why I take drugs is because I have no other way of escaping my everyday life. And me, my mum, my sister, you know, losing somebody very close to us, because of those factors, we wanted to see how we could help. And we created these seminars. We did one at a mandir. For those who don't know what a mandir is, like a holy temple for Hindus. And we had about 150, 200 people come down, and we all just spoke about our views of mental health, how we can help, but how also they can help themselves, you know. And we gave out free T-shirts. We did a lot. We gave out free food and everything. And I think I owe a big credit to my mum for that. If I got 5 minutes and 25 whatever seconds, I want to credit everything to my mum. Like, Mum, if you're watching this, I love you so much. And she's the one who's always had my back from day one. From the minute I came out the womb, she's always told me that whatever you want to do in this life, go chase it, and I'll be right behind you. Granted, she's 4'11", so she will be quite far behind me, but she'll be there. She'll be running along, and I just want to give a big thank you to my mom. Mom, I love you. And you know, every time I do anything where I have to speak on a podcast or I have to talk in front of a camera, I always make sure I let Mom know that I love her, because without my mom, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So, yeah, that's why I want to leave it on. Just saying thank you to my mom. I think that's the best thing I can leave it on.
Cute. I can't lie.
Cute. It was cute, man. It was very cute.
Appreciate it.
Mothers everywhere, we love you.
We do.
We love the mums in the world.
We do.
110%.
You know, I've only spent about an hour with you, and I think your mom did a very good job.
Oh,
very
appreciate
good job on
it,
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All credit to her. Genuinely, it is all credit to my mom. Like, what a powerful woman she is. Like, to raise 2 kids in an era where, you know, there is so much exposure, you know, and instilling not just me but my sister with good, you know, deep values of what life is and what we should all strive for. My mum's never told me you have to become a millionaire. My mum's never told me you have to be anything. My mum's only concern in this world is that I'm just myself. And there's nothing better than that when your own parent just tells you, don't worry about, like, you don't need a job. My mum didn't even care if I got a degree. All she ever cared about was every day I woke up and I just was myself, you know, and I can't ever repay my mum for that. That's why I always, wherever I go, I just need to thank her. And I thank her every day anyway, so she knows that.
Well, your mum raised a good man. Honestly,
Appreciate
for people that can relate, like with a single mom, that's why I was like, damn, it hits home.
Yeah, most definitely.
Listen, all the single moms out there,
Yeah.
Props.
you are all
Props.
amazing. Like,
Every single mom in the world.
I think that's probably one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Raising
I
kids
couldn't
by
do it.
yourself.
You know.
Can't raise a dog by myself. Can't do
That's
it.
why Neo's misbehaved. You're raising him by yourself.
He ran out the house yesterday.
She was in her towel.
I was in my towel and he ran out the house yesterday.
I think all single moms in the world are gangsters.
Honestly,
Pure gangsters.
I agree. Listen, I agree.
Gangsters, like how they can do it. Like when I was living at uni, I could just about function on a day-to-day basis. How's my mum like doing that? Going work, coming back,
And
like,
looking after you, making
you know what I mean?
food, washing,
Helping me,
yeah.
like taking me boxing, coming back home, like taking my sister places to go. Like I don't know, she's a champ though. Yeah.
We can have your mum on
We
the
agree.
podcast next.
Yeah, most definitely.
Unless we should have the moms on the podcast.
We should. All 3 mums just stand there.
Yeah. Most definitely. But go on, look, there's 2 minutes left. I want you lot to give a little review about what you lot thought about my opinions and stuff on mental health. I think that'd be really nice.
Oh,
I can't lie.
First time
I know,
someone's
right?
flipped the script
Yeah.
on us.
I agreed with everything you said. Like, you didn't
too.
say anything that I was like, because if you've watched our other episodes, there's been times where the guests have said things and me and Tracy
And
are
we
like,
were
no,
like,
we
"Huh?"
do not agree with you. But in regards to this, like everything you said, we both like, I don't
At
know,
this
I can't
point,
really
you should
speak
be
for
a
Tracy,
co-host,
but
honestly.
yeah, like we agree with it. Like you were speaking facts. You said you were nervous, but you had nothing to be nervous of. And I told you can talk, so you did great. I'm
You
proud.
did very well, yeah.
And you was on time, so
He was on time. We were late because
Some
of
people were late.
us.
this time we
And I-
weren't getting our nails done. We were just
We were just late because.
Do you know,
long
I
night last night.
got a message from you yesterday. Don't be late. Make sure you're on time. Yeah. Okay, I'll be on time.
this is nice, isn't it?
I'm
Look,
there.
look, they've got pictures of us now. It's
Ooh,
nice.
it's
It's
getting
nice.
professional
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
And I was on time, and I sat there, and I'm like,
It's
cool.
Tracy's fault. It's Tracy's
It's
fault.
not. What time did you get to my house?
Listen, there's 1 minute left. We need to finish up.
Okay.
Guys, that's all that time that we have for today. I'm gonna let Tracy do the outro as always, but we love you guys.
So before anything, we both just want to say, and I'm sure he will say it too, if anyone is struggling with their mental health, please, please, please reach out to someone. We're here. You might not want to talk to two girls, but, you know, just
You
drop
can
us a
though.
DM on our private, on our main, on our podcast page, whatever, on TikTok. Drop us an email if you want. Just talk to someone about it. If not us, then talk to someone, please, if anyone is struggling with their mental health. And as I always do this. I always do this in serious moments.
It's okay.
As always, stay pretty, stay psycho, and stay watching Pretty Psycho podcast. Thank you.